morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday, hump day. Today is May 10th, CPI day as well. Currently, markets are up on a slightly positive CPI reading with 5.5% year over year versus 5.5% expected, so not really much difference there, but the year over year regular CPI, that was core at 5.5%. Regular CPI came in at 4.9% versus 5% expected, so marginally lower. And then the month over month readings were, let's see, I believe it was 0.4% versus 0.4% expected. So basically everything came in at expectations besides the year over year for regular CPI. Core CPI came in at 0.4% month over month versus 0.4% expected and 0.4% prior. Let's see if I can find regular CPI. Not here on the month over month, so I'll have to go to the economic calendar. At 8:30, the regular CPI was 0.4% month over month versus 0.4% expected, up from 0.1% last month for March. So uptick in the month over month reading, slight downtick for the year over year. Peter. Good morning, Mike. Welcome. I'm going to look into some call options this morning since we are ramping up. I think that QQQ is a better choice as of right now, just based on the significance of the levels that we're at with 324. This is the previous high of the month. Obviously, we're bullish at 66 RSI. So ideally, we want to get in when this is trading at that monthly high, and hopefully it continues to run. It did run to 325 before this pullback in the past 15 minutes, so we'll see how this trade plays out. So it's a 324 call that I'm looking for. It's not going to be 64 cents. I'm sure it'll be probably along the lines of $1.50. Somewhere around there is what I would guess. Maybe a little bit higher because of the implied volatility today. Probably a lot of demand on the options just because it is CPI day. So do beware that you probably will overpay for options today. SPY, on the other hand, is losing its morning lows down here. So this one would be a cheaper option to get into. That does have a support of about 413.50, but I don't think that that's as significant a support as the 324 level for QQQ. It has been a very pivotal point, I would say. So above or below 413.50 could be pretty significant. Just based on the past month of trading, this has been where it kind of kept getting rejected by a ton of times. In about mid-April, once it passed it, it went all the way to 417, rejected again, rejected again, rejected again. So that 413.50 level does have some significance to it. There's a morning bell for us. QQQ is just above 324 at 324.18. Let me check what these calls are going at. They're going for $1.10 each. Okay. Yeah, so my assumption is we're going to hold those levels. They already jumped to 117 right on the open. I'll try to get them for 110 if possible. That was the lowest price that they traded for just now. Let me pull up the chart for it. That'll be helpful. We're looking at the call side, just in the money. All right. Yeah, see, these are already pumping to 120, 130 now. So we missed that opportunity. I do think that it could continue to ride, but getting in after it's already gone up could retest that top of the range at 325 and make that trade go south pretty quick. So I'd rather not take my chances there. Let's see if we can spot something for SPY instead. Trading at 414.36, so you would want the 414 call. Those started at 102, now they're at 131. So yeah, there's a pretty decent push into these call options so far this morning. There would be a little bit more margin to the upside for the SPY call versus the QQQ call though. Now the QQQ calls are going for 170, so very, very expensive. Currently trading at 324, so at the top of the range. Just broke it a little bit. So we'll see if we get a pullback here or not. Good morning, Kamala. Good morning, Mike. All right, we're stalling at that 325 level for QQQ right now. So we could take a 325 put and assume that we're not going to keep on trucking up. Obviously, we would be betting against momentum here. But let's see. These are going for 103. Lowest was 93 for these contracts, the 325 puts. Usually with the strategy, I don't bet against momentum because it can go against you pretty quickly. So I think I'll refrain. But they are relatively cheap. Cheap for a reason. All right, so hopefully we can wait on SPY to pull back a little bit here. It doesn't need to pull back much in order to start snagging some calls for that. QQQ would need to drop about I would probably say at least 75 cents for those to get somewhat cheap. So better opportunity right now seems to be in SPY. All right, yeah. SPY 414 call. It's gonna be I meant the call, not the put. There we go. All right, these are going for 134 at the moment, which is just above where I would probably want them at like one, or right now at 122 seems good. All right, so going back to SPY, it'd be a lot quicker if I could do this on Thinkorswim. That transfer process is not completed yet. All right, the low on that candle was down to 122. So I'll send a little preemptive alert as to looking into it. Looking to buy SPY 414 call. Now they're going for 116. Okay. They were down to 104 at the open for this first 5-minute candle. So there's still a little bit more downside for these that we would want to watch out for in case it does reverse right on the open. The cheapest for this candle was 113. So it was like 10 cents higher than the open. Now they're 131, 130. All right. Yeah, I think we can get them for around 110. I'm hoping. Right now they're going for 119, so a little bit more expensive than what I'm looking for at the moment. The ask is down to 113. All right, we're slipping below. All right, submitting my order at 110. And of course, they bounce right back off. All right. Damn, they just cleared that stop loss really quick. Okay. Yeah, so I'll have to get out immediately for my stop loss. That sucks. Because it just fell right through the bottom right there. So out at 93. For 170 loss. Now you got that 413.50 level. For SPY, that should be some support. It's at 60 for the RSI, so it's still bullish. But that was a pretty significant drop right after. Goog calls for IO conference today. Let's see. Goog. I think QQQ is going to head higher, so Goog could be a good play for today. Not really too sure how it's going to react to the event. Could be buy the rumor, sell the news. If the RSI is too high, does that mean that it's overbought? Yes. So if it's at 70 RSI, that does mean that it's overbought. That doesn't mean that the stock can't continue, though. The stock can stay in overbought or oversold territory for an indefinite amount of time. All right. Looks like QQQ is pulling back to 324, so it would have been better to take that 325 put. Looks like we are starting to slide a little bit here. SPY's down to 413. So yeah, that was a pretty heavy crash first for SPY. So I'd imagine that QQQ would follow, but it's still above that 324 level. So let's watch the 324 QQQ puts. Right now they're going for 90. And they're just now breaking through that level. I'd say if we get a clear below, I'm trying to get these at $1. It's too late now. They're already at 110. All right. So watch out for the 324.04 level. This will be critical for QQQ to hold if it does want to continue to rally today. Looking to buy QQQ 324 put. They're already 125, so already too expensive for me. But looks like we're going below 50 on the RSI, so this could be pretty quick turnaround for the overall market. Looks like SPY is down to only 0.3%. Earlier is up almost 1%. And QQQ, on the other hand, still up 0.5%. But yeah, everybody that bought into the calls this morning just got wrecked on that. Do I think Meta will drop? Meta's one of those ones that's been at close to 52-week highs, yeah, for the past couple weeks. Maybe it ends up filling the gap, but I think it would take a while to fill that down to 213. I think that would probably take about 1 or 2 months. So like a June expiration would be good, I would think. Obviously a slow payout, but could be worth it. Let's see. If QQQ starts to come down, though, that's going to drag on the top names that have been performing so well, I would think. All right, QQQ is already down to 322.50. These puts are 127 apiece. 130 now. So again, too expensive for my taste. Maybe if they're around $1 to 90 cents each, that might be good. Just watching out for that 324.04 level. It's going to be critical. All right, they're down to 120 now. They were up to, let's see, 150. So yeah, if this downtrend continues, that's a pretty decent margin. Obviously, with your 10-cent stop loss, that's a 3-to-1 risk reward. Let's see. I would like to get them cheaper, but we'll see. Now they're at 110. Okay. Trying to get them for 1 would be nice. Might have to negotiate up to 105 though. All right. I forgot to tag. Okay. So they got close to 1, but they didn't quite get there. So it's right at that resistance level. It's still above 50 RSI, so that's still barely bullish right now. But I think losing that support level could shift us to the downside, because everybody was buying in because it was at a new monthly high, and now obviously that's changed. Yeah, the lowest that these contracts are getting right now are 105. Really don't like overpaying, especially given that we're bullish RSI. But the return on these could be pretty good if we do end up continuing to drop. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to get these cheaper than 105 a piece. I think that's the lowest we're able to snag these for right now. Keeps getting rejected by 324. So I think we're just going to have to hop in a little high. They're dropping down to 105 again. Okay. Hopefully this isn't my last shot to enter. Now they're at 117, so that was my last shot to enter. Of course. It's just right on the edge with that 324 level. What chart are we looking at? This is the hourly chart. I was about to say that doesn't make much sense. Okay. Yeah, so the cheapest these got was what, $1. I think I'm gonna have to put the order in for 105. Ah, damn it. Cannot get this. Don't do spreads anymore. Sometimes I do. Like if I were to play a spread for 0 data expiration today, I would probably say we're going to go below 322 if momentum continues to slide down. But the problem with this using 0 data expiration spreads is that you're limiting your profits, and these options can run a ton, especially on a day like today, where it's CPI day. There's a lot of volume, so a lot of people buying into the calls, the puts on either side. So really juices up the premiums a lot, especially if you're choosing the right direction, obviously. You have to choose the right direction, otherwise you will lose your ass. But yeah, these are at 124, 125 now, so missed that one. SPY's down to 411.50, so barely up for today. That's a huge reversal. Negative or below 50 RSI, so bearish. And QQQ is down to 323.60. So yeah, clean rejection off of that 324 level. Now going bearish on RSI. All right, so looking at these candles, cheapest we're going to get this is 105. Don't think we'll be able to get that. But we'll try again. All right, I'm going to queue the order to go through so I don't miss this time. Put the order in for 105, you'll get it. I'm pretty doubtful for it. I think 115 is going to have to be the new level, but then you're putting that max loss or your stop loss too close. Yeah, they're at 125. So chances of getting filled at 105 is damn near impossible. SPY is just in free fall mode, so there's no entry opportunity here. But QQQ is kind of stalling out a bit more. It's right at 50 RSI, which is part of my concern too of buying these too expensive. If it was clearly below 50 RSI, then that would be a trade I'd be okay with. Don't want to take the long opportunity right now either, just because we're right at 50. You want a clear direction from RSI before using this trade, using this strategy. I would say it's pretty clear that we're headed lower so far though. Just based on price action sliding from 325 to 323.50. No problem, Shark. Did I catch any of the gap downs? IWM is about to gap down. Let's see. Oh, wow. Yeah, IWM was 176.63. But everything's just sliding basically non-stop. Especially IWM is really bad. No breaks here. Same for SPY. No breaks for the first. Well, I guess you had a break right here where we paused for 5 minutes before sliding down. QQQ did kind of the same thing with a pause at 324. The cheapest of these are getting in the past 5 minutes has been 115. I really don't want to have to negotiate up another 10 cents because then my stop loss is right at that 324 level. Do I think today is going to be bearish? So far it's looking like it, just based on SPY, IWM. QQQ, on the other hand, is just kind of balanced out at the moment. Right now it's at 54 RSI, so it's not significantly above or below. All right, now these options are going for a little bit cheaper, 112. there's still 105. Okay. So I could enter here. And those would flip for, let's see, 104 to 128, 130 maybe. It's about a 3-to-1 risk reward. All right. I'll get in at 105. Order is in, no fill. There we go, filled at 105. In at 105. All right, so stop loss, of course, will be 95, 10 cents. Right now they're at 106. I open 10 of them. All right, we're right above that 324 level. So we'll see. Looks like we're going to get stopped out. Yep. All right. So now just above that 324 level. So again, with this 50 RSI, doesn't make it a clear directional trade. So 0 for 2 so far today. Yeah, stop loss was hit at 95 since we broke that 324 level. That was 100 loss. And now we're sitting just above 324.04, that monthly high. Wouldn't be shocked if we just kind of trade flat. Since we already rose, 0.8% so far today, I wouldn't be surprised if we just trade flat at 324. Bouncing up and down below, above and below that 324 level. Wouldn't be too shocking for me. Is it a steep learning curve? I would say Thinkorswim's a lot easier, honestly. The instant buy, the market orders that you can do here is a lot easier than the hassle of Robinhood, in my opinion. Yeah, now that 324 puts at 70, so good thing I had my stop loss. Otherwise, that would have been really south really quickly, just like that SPY trade. That's why these stops are so important with this zero data expiration strategy, because they can get moving either direction for you. Now QQQ is back to 324.70. All right. SPY is firming up now above 50 RSI. Let's check IWM. IWM is still below 50 at 48.9 at the moment. So cheapest in terms of relative strength for the indices right now. But we're right at 50 for SPY. So again, when you're at 50 with this strategy, it seems to have a lower win rate of about 25%. Today is like a roller coaster after yesterday was dead. Yeah. Yep, that's what it seems like today. A lot of back and forth action. But if you can take advantage of the swings, that's what you want. All right, we're retesting the highs for QQQ. SPY is almost back to 413.50, that pivot level that we kept having for the past month. It's at 55 for the RSI, so definitely getting bullish. QQQ's breaching the new high, so I'd imagine SPY would go higher at 413.50. We'll see. Just not getting any setup so far. Besides this one that failed, and then for SPY, that one failed too. Right here. The 413 calls for SPY right now are only up 24% compared to yesterday's close. It's kind of cheap, I would say, considering the 0.6% jump. But I guess a lot of the implied volatility was priced into that because of CPI today. Hopefully we don't get this back and forth range action, just amplifying what we did yesterday. That would be tough market to trade, but that would be kind of similar to what we saw the day before. Yesterday's range was like $1.30 from top to bottom for SPY, which is like 0.3% intraday volatility. Super low. You know it's gonna go to the moon because I got it in on puts. Yeah. All right, we're right at that 413.50 level for SPY. Looks like a tasty put, but 56 RSI tells me no. All right, IWM is stalling here, so this might actually be our best. Problem with trading IWM is their bid-ask spreads are a lot wider than what you'll get for SPY and QQQ because it's not traded as much. So far this morning, IWM has been traded 5 million times, QQQ has been traded 14 million, and SPY has been traded 16 million times. So about 3 times the volume for SPY and QQQ versus IWM, which makes the trades a lot harder. All right, there we are at the 413.50 level again. For SPY, looks like QQQ just broke a new high. 324.50, 324.60 now. I think QQQ could actually rally pretty high. I don't really have a price target in mind because there's no recent ones. The most recent high compared to where we are now was 326.84. So another $1.40 we could see, and that was right before we started trending down in August of 2022. All right, we could have a setup for QQQ. If it comes down to about 325, that would be ideal. That would put these options at about $1.07. Right now it's at 123, so much higher. And SPY just breaching that 413.50 level right now. QQQ just doesn't want to stop. Seems like QQQ is always more volatile than SPY though. It's up 1.2% versus 0.6% for SPY right now. AMD, Amazon going crazy. Probably. Amazon, I would especially expect that one to move up considering how far well, not really that far. They sold off from earnings, so decent rise today would be expected. They're trading at 104.07 just a couple days ago, 140.7 actually, with the lowest after earnings at 101. So not too surprised to see them up 9-10% from their highs. And then AMD, kind of the same story. They ended up dropping on their earnings and recovering all of that. All right, QQQ is pulling back here a wee bit. All right, we might have some candle structures. Right at 325, a little bit higher than 325, 325.30. Which these we're going for 110. So I wouldn't want to pay anything more than 110 on these. All right, SPY is seeing a little bit more significant of a pullback, so that might be the better opportunity there. With a 413 call, let me check. 413. Yeah, these are going for 117 right now. 115. And the lowest that these got was 104. So if you expect SPY to keep rising because QQQ is going up, then you could get some decent bucks off of that. Next resistance would be probably the high of the morning at 414.90. So almost 415, which will put these about $2 each if it does end up continuing that rally. I'd say anything more than about $1.15 would be too much. Ideally, we get these at 106 or below. My worry with that is that when we get to that level, though, we'll be at 50 RSI again. So we're probably just going to have this back and forth action. Do I trade futures? No, I do not. I think I'd rather get on QQQ because it's more certain with RSI at 70. So right now, that's your better opportunity in terms of likelihood, at least. QQQ is more likely to work out with a strategy. But the calls on them is just not cheap at all. Not in the slightest. All right. These are pulling back a little bit down to 108. Almost perfect candle structure here. QQQ 325 call. Well, ideally we can get these for 108 or below. 108. $106 would be nicer, but not sure if we'll get it. Yeah, it looks like we're back to the top of the range. So they're at 115. Pullback coming. I wouldn't be too sure. Yeah, maybe here. They're going for one apiece now. Now they're 110. So you got that small little pullback. sent these back down to their lowest, which was about $1 each, and now they're back to 118. SPY still no clear direction, so I don't want to take that one. IWM, the volume is too low. But that one's actually bearish. So it looks like we're having a pullback for SPY and IWM right now. Not so much for QQQ at the moment. Could that lead QQQ to pull back? Probably. Yeah, we dipped down to that low again there. All right. $1.01 would be perfect pricing. Now they're 95 and dropping. So we lost that support there. So no clean setups today. Could have taken this, but it was above 50 RSI and like right at 50 RSI, so low chance of that trade working out. But yeah, QQQ just slipped below 325. Let's see, just got a news alert from the ECB. Officials start to think September rate hike may be needed. And now these calls are going for 69. So yeah, huge swings, both directions. No real pauses today. These puts were just going for 34. So yeah, if you were on the right side of that trade, that would have worked out really well. They doubled in price in a couple minutes. Man, these candles are just crazy. 198 to 122 in 5 minutes. So yeah, if you don't have a proper stop loss, you can get a big L real quick with this market we're in. Done for the day. Took 3 trades and lost them all. It'd be like that sometimes. It can be like that. especially in this market if you're not getting in at the perfect time. All right, RSI for SPY is right at 46, so we don't want to take that. QQQ is at 57, so that's more bullish. But let's see, if we take the trade when it's at the here, then it'll be 54, so that's a little bit more edgy. Let's get IWM back on the watch list. Oh, it's there. I'm missing something from here. I'm not sure which it was. TLT probably. Yeah. Bond market is up today. Bond market has just been extremely volatile. The best losers win. Trying to learn SPY 0 data expiration like you do. Any strategies I would recommend? Watch SPY video from last year. The one that I've been using recently is just having a very tight stop loss at like 10 cents and just watching where candle structure is settling and looking at RSI to determine your direction. When you're right at 50 RSI, then there's no clear direction, so usually don't want to take that trade. More often than not, that trade's going to fail you. But there's about a 50% win rate from what I've seen if you're trading significantly above or below 50 RSI. So if you're at like 55, 60, and you have this candle structure right here for QQQ, then it's a decent opportunity to go long. Right now it's at 56, so it's kind of there. But ideally you want to get this at the close for this candle, the open for this candle. It's a structural support just based on the candles. These were going for 60, 62. SPY's just not having any of the QQQ rally though. QQQ just wants to keep pressing higher. SPY doesn't have that same energy to it. So they might end up just trading back and forth above and below 50 RSI, kind of like yesterday, which made this strategy worthless. Ended up losing pretty much every trade that I put on yesterday. I think I had one win. All right. Yeah, so there's just not any opportunity in the market right now. Candles are a little bit too big to get any consolidation. We are kind of slowing down the pace at least, which is good. But haven't really settled at any prices yet. Zombie volume needs to touch 325 so I can get out. Looks like it did for a second there. 325.02. Talking more about the debt ceiling over on Congress today. I saw that U.S. default swaps were getting bid up recently, so that's fun. The markets just aren't paying attention to it at all because basically every time one side ends up caving in at like the very last minute. So that's what the markets are expecting. That's what I would expect too. But in the off chance that we do, you'd see a huge pop in the VIX, huge flop in SPY and QQQ. So you could hedge that with a put on SPY, QQQ, or VIX call. Just would put a lot of money on it. All right. Okay, looks like we're headed down more for SPY, it seems. So I think that's our better trade. SPY puts 412 strike. Copy, paste that here. All right, lowest of these got was down to 75. Now they're at 93, 82. Okay. It does have that 412.10 support level, which was yesterday's high. So that's pretty significant. If you want to trap the shorts, you want to stay above 412.10 today. All right. That was a good setup for QQQ right there. These were going for 72, now they're 87. $73 actually. Trying to decide which one I prefer. This candle structure is a little less certain than SPY, I would say. Just because the last 3 candles have been the same spot, basically. But it's at 50 for RSI, so low chance of working out for us. $60 RSI for QQQ is more certain. IWM is still below 50 at 45 right now. That one is actually setting up pretty nicely for a put. It's probably your best setup. 174 put on IWM. Volume is lower, obviously, so your bid-ask spread is not going to be tight, which is problematic with this strategy since the stop loss is very tight. But let's see. IWM 174 put, currently going for 49 cents a pop. 45 for the RSI, so significantly below 50, which is ideal. And best price for these options would be about 46. Right now they're trading for 53 with a 3-cent bid-ask spread. That's my problem with that. That bid-ask spread just is not friendly for this strategy. But that would be the most certain setup using this strategy for right now. Just not so certain on the bid-ask spread. And losing that money very quickly if it does go south. All right, SPY's back down to 45 for RSI. But not the best entry price for the puts. And you're right above that 412.10 level. All right. So IWM setting up here. These contracts really aren't flipping for that much either. So that's also a problem. Even if we do go back to the low from this first candle that we've found ourselves in, they would only be going for 60 cents, so about $10 profit each. They could pop to 71 if we do end up coming back to this low. But right now we're just in this very, very tight range of 174.10 to the highs at like 174.40. Yeah, none of those contracts are going for 60. Of course, I'm too late. Gotta love being late. Gotta love being late. SPY. So now we're below that 412.10 level again. For SPY, 44 for RSI. And IWM is back to the lows from previous. QQQ, I'm sure, is still bullish right now. Yeah, 56 for the moment. All right. So right now the SPY put's looking a little more appealing. Still not the best since we're not at the top of this range, but we are getting close to the bottom. So I'm going to try to get these at 95, hopefully. No, too late. $1 each. SPY 412 puts. Yeah, they're going for $1 at the ask. Now 103 at the ask, so they're climbing pretty quick here. The best price you got these at was 78 cents. But the RSI was at 50, so low probability that that trade would work out, but it did. All right, QQQ pulling back some. So we expect SPY to keep pulling back. QQQ puts might be a little cheaper. And since SPY fell through the 412.10, we might end up falling below 324 for QQQ here too. Put 324. The 324 puts, the cheapest that they got was 41. Now they're at 58. So very high relative. All right, SPY's pulling back up now. All right, right at 412. And the cheapest that these got was 94. They're actually 93 now. Am I looking at the right? Yeah. Oh no, I'm looking at the call side. That makes a lot of sense. That makes more sense. Yeah, so now you're getting the breakout. You can get these at 115 now. QQQ. That one's dropping there. Just below 50 RSI too. So you can get some momentum. And QQQ. Yeah, they're already going for 90. After clearing that 324.04 level, sinking below 50 RSI at 46 right now. So very quick moves in the market. And I wouldn't want to pay more than about 80 cents for those. Which is just what they were going at. All right, I'm going to place the order for 80. Send it through, didn't get filled yet. Now they're going for 85. So might be a little late to that one. Yep, now they're going for 98. So way too late. Right in the highs. Same setup happening. Yeah. Same kind of drop. You might see a bounce at 322.88 again. Possibly. Farthest pullback will be Apple today. Maybe. Maybe so. Yeah, SPY's back down to break even now, so lost all of its gains from CPI. That's pretty tough. All the call buyers are in the red now. Yeah, these puts are just getting too expensive. Definitely have some momentum starting here, though. The highest that these went before was only 156, so people are definitely... Oh, that's for SPY. For QQQ, the highest that these went was 160. So if it does keep dropping, still some room to gain on that. But they're at 150 right now, so not that much room. Not that much. All right, now they're down to 120. These are just moving so damn quick. It's crazy. And it bounced right at that low too. 322.88. Almost a similar low to the 940 candle. People are paying a pretty penny for it right now, though. They're 113. Now they're 120. Now they're back to 113, so they've lost their value. A little bit. SPY's back to barely positive. Still a break even, basically. So yeah, very similar price action to what we got yesterday. Just a lot more volatile, obviously, but just this back and forth that we got yesterday. Why not use Thinkorswim but trade on Robinhood? I'm trying to move my money over to Thinkorswim. That would make it a lot easier to get in and out of these trades with the market orders, but transfer is still in process right now. All right, looks like SPY's pulling back some more. Back to red, barely. So SPY is sliding. QQQ is still kind of holding, but looks like we could be headed lower for Qs. Two trades today, both failed. 130 loss for the first one, $100 loss for the second. How much did I make? Yeah, so two trades, both failed me on the stop loss. SPY's down 0.08%, so more significant to the downside. Definitely bearish RSI. Did the trades that held on up 125. Very nice, Jeff. Yeah, my stop loss with today's kind of volatility gets hit pretty quick, so not too surprised if you're profitable if you held through the stop loss. jacking up the premiums on the puts. The 324 is going for 140. They were just at 150. RSI is really unfolding now at 42. Kind of thinking we're just going to end the day at 324 with this back and forth. For QQQ, for SPY, that one's a little bit harder to pinpoint. Maybe higher at 412 with that high of day, but not too certain on it. A 324 level for QQQ is just a gravity point, though. Keeps on pulling right back to it. Anytime it pops, comes back down, and then drops, comes back up. Surprised IWM is still positive with SPY flat. You would think that small caps would get a little bit more hammered, but not happening today. All right, I think IWM might be an okay opportunity, the best opportunity so far. But yeah, the bid ask won't be kind to me. These are going for 78 now. Yeah, we just fell below that 322.88 level for QQQ. So these are surging. 173 now. Bought puts after the highs. Very nice. Yeah, definitely pulling back for everything. Now we're at the 323 level for QQQ, 40 for the RSI, so that's in our favor for relative strength. 323 puts going for $1 a piece. Cheapest was 87. No. Actually about 80, no, 85, 87, somewhere in that range. If we go back to the open on this candle, they would go to 60 cents. I do think that we have a clear direction now with 40 RSI though. So it gives me a little bit more confidence to open the trade. Just not able to open any of these so far. Definitely move over to cash count for thinkorswim. No limits on day trades. Yep. That is the beauty of cash count. You have no limits as to how many times you can trade. You don't need that 25,000 margin level that you do for a margin account. So, very nice to have. All right, now the puts are going for $1. Okay. So now if we can get these between 85 and 93, that would be ideal. Now they're at 90, 92, 93. Okay. Let me put this over here. $3.23 put is what we're looking for. Usually 10. 83 would be nice. But I don't think we'll get it. Yep, now they're at 91, so. These are just flipping too quick for me. That's weird. All right, saying 80 cents here. This is the call. Okay. All right, the lowest that these got for that candle was 63. Creeping back to 50 RSI. But I think I'll get in anyway. 0.78 apiece. 0.75 or lower would be nice. All right. $3.23 put at 75. Now they're 74. Okay. Okay. So I think 75 is probably the best order I'm going to get. Maybe we can wait for like 73 would be nice, but I'm not going to trust it. All right. In at 75. We'll get our stop loss set to 65.65. All right, and hopefully we can ride this momentum continuing down. Now they're going for 78. I got 10 of them. All right, there we go. $100 profit so far. I actually got them at 74 myself. Now they're going back for 74, 76. So watching this little range here that we got. RSI is still bearish at 43. So hopefully this trade works out for us. The best that these were going for was 85 at the high for this candle. Before that, they were going for 94 and then $1.20 when we had that significant low here. So that would be nice if we could get that, but not sure what our odds are for that kind of success. Why is the market bearish today? Just selling off of the highs that we were at before. Maybe CPI wasn't as good as the bulls had expected, so they ended up closing us, or they ended up sending us back below the monthly highs for QQQ and the daily highs for SPY. Yesterday's highs. All right, they're tagging my stop loss. Not quite there. Still trading in that little range. Hopefully we're not range bound for too long. Right now we're at 44 RSI, so I think sell-off is more imminent, but the range has us trapped right now. All right, and back to 74 for these contracts, 75. They just keep flipping for about 6 cents. All right, stop loss has been hit. So we'll put it in for the order. No, that did not go through. All right, probably gonna have to do lower. Yeah. All right, stopped out again, out at 60. Could possibly re-enter. Still bearish for RSI. But you don't have the same candle structure that you did before. So I'm going to skip out on that for now. But yeah, that's all the trades I got today. 0 for 3, unfortunately. Hit the stop loss each time. And I'll catch y'all tomorrow at 9:30. See you, everybody.